Welcome back. So, because I consume a lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of other YouTubers, because I support our industry. I support the content. I support the theory. I support the science. I support the modifications, the upgrades. So a lot of people out there are saying, "Oh wow, you're a bad mechanic. I'll never come to your shop because you're a hack, or you do things wrong, or you don't put the car back the way you found it." Education time. So here's a YouTube factory certified Honda technician discussing 18, 19s, and 20s Hondas 4-cylinder boosted engines and telling you why these engines have head gasket problems so early. And he says quality of oil, quality of fuel on a boosted engine, on top of not the manufacturer putting crappy parts or the wrong parts or under engineered parts on the car. So when he's at the dealership, he's a robot. He has to just put the car back the way that he found it, knowing that he's not fixing shit for that customer. And that same reason why it failed under warranty is going to fail after he does it again, but it's just buying them some time. So think about what I just said there. The guys in the service department, and this goes for the Ford guys too, because they were doing it, they know until someone fixes the actual problem, they're putting it back together exactly the way they found it. Now, some of these guys are super talented, and we're like, dude, this is just not right, but this is what they get paid to do, is to put the car back together wrong. Because they already know there's a fail that's going to happen because of this. So Ford re-engineered the long blocks on their 4 cylinders for coolant consumption and head gasket failure, right? They're not doing it for free for anybody. Only if you got complaints and issues with it, because everyone's driving habits are different and it happens at different times. Now, Honda has the same problem. So this Honda tech said, poor block design, because they cut reliefs between the cylinders like Ford, okay? And he can't do anything about that. Let's pull the cylinder head off, replace the head gasket with the same shit that failed, but it wasn't the head gasket that failed. It failed because the block has a weak spot between the coolant passages and the cylinders. In my opinion, it would have been easier to just have that block welded while it's apart, okay? Deck it, because you can actually square deck that in a 4-cylinder fairly easy today. With somebody who welds really well, that's not going to have blobs of weld. And then put the car back together, and that customer will be on its way. But he can't do that. You can't do that kind of stuff in a dealership. You can't modify unless the Bible and the powers that be say that you can. Okay, like drill a hole here to help drainage, or modify this bracket so that it doesn't tug on this harness like some GMs. The harnesses were so tight that they were breaking the harnesses because they were pulled so tight in certain areas. Well, you have to modify that stuff sometimes to make it to stop happening, or a hose that would rub or something like that. It's all engineering and installations. I had a friend have a newer Dodge where they had a clamp on the rear heater lines above the transmission. It was pointing and rubbing right against another heater line. Brand new. And guess what? Dodge dealerships, some of them refused to replace it because they weren't having enough complaints. And finally, we did find a dealership to fix it for free for her, because it needed to be modified from its original design and position to help the customer. Putting it back exactly the way you found it would just create another problem. So back onto the Honda. So this guy who is doing Hondas outside of his workplace, he's doing them at home, out of warranty. He is not reusing the same cylinder head bolts because he says they're crappy. He's putting head studs in, which is not putting it back exactly the way you found it. I'm wondering what else he's doing to the car if he doesn't have an improved block design. I will tell you, you could, because the reliefs weren't so bad, it could be modified, very simple, and put back to where the customer won't have any problems. But here's another technician, master technician, who's saying, hey, putting it back together the right way isn't fixing the fucking thing. But kudos to this guy, because then he's like, hey, when you're out of warranty and it happens again, you can come to me, and I'm going to take steps to help you not have this a problem again. But I'm wondering what he's using on the deck. I'm sure he's doing something. I bet even JB Weld would probably hold up, and then you can seal that, and I'm sure there's a way. But Ford's putting new long blocks in. Isn't that crazy? If you complain about if you have a problem under warranty, once it's out of warranty, you're choking that one down.